Hi, this is Suhailah, and this is Grow With Me by Suhailah, the podcast, and this is episode 13. This episode is titled Responsibly Human. Responsibly Human. I don't know why I always repeat the titles twice. I don't know. I always feel like maybe you didn't hear it the first time. Maybe I didn't hear myself the first time. But Responsibly Human, third time this time. And in this episode, I talk about what it is to be responsible, what it truly is to hold ourselves accountable. Accountable meaning ownership, no matter what it looks like, no matter who did the thing. What's my ownership in this? How am I going to change how things work in the future? Or so I can break this pattern in my own life and other situations in work and business and relationships and marriage and parenting and whatever, as an employer, employee. And I use this framework. It's a framework in business called RASCI. We used it a lot in advertising, but it's a well-known business framework, particularly around account management and project management. The R is for responsible, the A is for accountable, the S is for support, the C is for consult, and the I is for inform. Some people don't use the S, but I like the S because sometimes you just need people who are going to support on the project, whether it's the project of your life or the project of an actual project in business. So I use that framework. So stick around for it. I get to it at the end. I'll wrap it all up as I usually get around to my point. This episode runs a little longer than normal because this really was a thorn in my side. It is because lately around me, personal and in business, I hear a lot of people complaining about other people, and maybe I'm doing that here now, but they are doing the same thing that they say other people are doing, and they don't even see it. So that's how I start, and then I wrap it all up. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. So I've been thinking lately about this idea of responsibility, what it means to be responsible humans in our own life, in our relationships, in our businesses, in our jobs, as parents, as business owners, as employers, as employees, whatever roles we have in our marriages. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately because 100% of the people that I know have done things rather recently that they say that they don't like when other people do the same things. So I think it's really important. So I had a trauma coach. I started seeing her during the pandemic, and I saw her all through my mother's, the grief of my mother's death, with me grieving my mother's death. My mother died in 2021. And I remember, and I had also broken up with my ex at the time. I had a lot of things going on. Family dynamics were disrupted. I had a lot of things going on. Issues with clients at the time. Some of the issues were issues that people think are good issues, like meaning I had clients. I had a big client during COVID, but I thought they were tokenizing me. I thought that I was a token Black person. So it was a different kind of issue. I just wanted to face it like, I'm not trying to be your token Black person. I'm not trying to be your token woman because this is the trendy thing to do now. Like, why are you hiring me? And I want to be involved. I want to make a difference. I don't care how much you're paying me. Like, if you're not going to invite me to the right meetings because you think it's too costly to have me on the calls because I don't come cheap, it wasn't a flex to me. That wasn't a big thing to just be able to say I had a client if I really couldn't have impact, because I'm responsible and I like to do what I do and I love my work. And so I called them to the mat on that. But anyway, during this time, I was working through a lot of things that I was being triggered by at the time related to I don't know if it was my value, my worth. Even when people thought really highly of me in friendship dynamics, it was like, why is everyone attached to me in this way? I was just going through a lot of strange, what you wouldn't typically think were trauma things or things that could cause triggers related to trauma, like having great clients or having a lot of people who want to be friends with you or attached to you or want you a part of the friendship group. And that wasn't my style. I'm not a group. So I know a lot of people. I have a lot of associates, but I'm singular. Like, I like my freedom. So I know a lot of people in a lot of different circles from A to Z, but I'm pretty much a solo kind of woman, and I have a lot of siblings, and for a long time we were really close friends, but I'm pretty much a solo kind of woman. So it's hard for people sometimes because they can get confused with it's weird because I'm a team player. I like to collaborate. I like to be in teams. I like to work with people, but I'm also can very much work by myself and do things by myself, right? Even in a relationship dynamic, a romantic relationship, I like someone who is also independent in that way. They don't need a lot because I'm like that. So then together we become interdependent, right? We need, but we're not codependent. Like I can exist with or without all of these things, all of these people, right? There's nobody that if they were not around, I would fall to the ground. I would like a lot of people around, the people that I like, but I'm not going to be, my life is not going to change. My life is not going to change if one person on the chessboard moves or moves off the board, right? So I had a trauma coach, and I remember her saying I was too responsible because I look at the whole picture of everything, so I'm that person that even when I'm in pain, even when I can be talking shit because my feelings are hurt, at the same time, I'm constantly looking at myself. What role did I play in this? I do not like to play the victim. I do not like to get stuck in my narrative. So just because I have hurt feelings does not mean that I'm playing the victim. And I'm also not a vindictive person. But I want to get back on my feet quickly, normally. But I want to understand what happened. So I will take the time to see what happened. Like, what just happened here? And what was my part in it? So I'm very responsible in that way. So I had a trauma coach who told me that I'm too responsible. She was like, some of these things, particularly regarding a relationship that I left during the pandemic and just other things I was talking about. She was like, you're too responsible. Like, she was pretty much like, this is those people. Like, they hurt you. They did this. Let yourself grieve this. Let yourself feel this. Let yourself, honor your pain. It was a necessary learning. It was a necessary step, right? Because when I tell you I take full responsibility for my life, I take full responsibility for my life. So again, no matter who I can say did this, did that, that can all be true. Two things can be true at the same time. They could have done this, but I am responsible for my life. So it's now my responsibility to figure out what the heck just happened here. How do I course correct so I do not create this pattern and do this again? I don't want to be in these same cycles with jobs, with people, with clients, with relationships, with friends. No, the buck stops here. The buck stops with me. So I take the time to really, before I move into a next relationship, a next client, a next deep friendship, I am really evaluating what just happened here, like a debrief, right? After war or something. So that's my nature. And I don't think I'll ever stop doing that. But she was just like, you take too much responsibility. The onus is not always on you. Fine. It was true. It made me pull back a little. Because to me, it's no 50-50. I show up 100%, and the other people need to show up 100%. So to me, also, when things falter, I show up 100% and let the other person take responsibility for their side. But it's not like, oh, this half was my fault and this half was your fault. No, it's 100%. When it comes to me, it's 100% what did I do as well. Not to say that there wasn't another component to that. So that's my level. That's how I look at responsibility. But that trauma coach helped me really see things differently, to approach them a little bit differently, to just started to just balance it out a little bit more, which was necessary, right? It was a little bit too much how I didn't think things were my fault, but I took responsibility. So if that makes sense. But I just wanted to talk about this idea of responsibility because I see a lot of people say, I don't like when people do this. I don't like when they're not. So in business, for instance, this might be a little bit more of a business podcast this time, but it's also personal too. But I don't like when people are not responsive. But then I see you not being responsive. You didn't just reply to that email with that person that we just talked to 3 weeks ago, and you told them that you would have gotten back to them a week after we spoke to them. So, but I'm not ready to respond yet, or I'll get back to them when I'm ready. Okay, but then you're just complaining about somebody who acted like this with you, a vendor or a potential partner. Fine. And then other people, I don't like when people don't call me back in a timely fashion. You don't call me back in a timely fashion regularly. Right? Or you don't call this person back, or I see you treating your partner like this, right? Or this person wasted my time. I was waiting all day for this. I committed to this. I made time for them because they said they needed me for this. But you just did that to me, or you just did that to this person. You just did that to your child. You just did that to your partner. So I don't know. We have this warped, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like people need to take responsibility. We really need to start to understand what it means to take responsibility, starting with ourselves. 100%. We are responsible for how we show up, no matter how anybody else is acting. My standard for me is my standard for me. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It is not my problem why someone is behaving that way. My only responsibility and my only concern is how I am behaving in response to that. My standard does not change based on the person. It could be an unhoused person on the corner here in Hollywood. It can be the biggest executive that I have to work with for existing big blue chip brand, a small company. I am going to be the same 100%. People do not get preferential treatment. I do not call you back first because you have a title. I do not call you back last because you don't. I'm the same with everyone because it's my standard of excellence, and it's my standard. It's how I hold myself accountable and I hold myself responsible. So I see a lot of times people complaining, especially in business. I don't like when people don't support my work. You're not supporting anybody else's work. What are you even talking about? You have it. I have a whole book. You didn't even buy my book, but I'm supporting your stuff. I have a podcast. I have a newsletter. I have this, that. But you're sitting here telling me as your friend or as your business partner how other people don't support you. It's bizarre. It is freaking bizarre. And I check myself. I'm not saying that I am beyond reproach, but I tend to call people on things. My friend's like, well, if I feel comfortable, if you have a safe space. I just did this with a friend of mine. He was talking about something repeatedly that keeps happening with his clients. And I'm like, but this is how you are with your partner, or this is how you don't show up, you don't follow through, you don't People can't see the relationship. And I don't understand this. It's like this idea that you can love certain people more. No, love is love, right? It's the same idea, right? I don't get that. Like, I love this person more than I love this person. So I treat that. I really don't know what's going on. But I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. And again, I'm not saying that I am perfect. I am not saying that I do things perfectly, but I will say that I 100%, even in the moment of the error, the moment of the thing that I do not like that I'm seeing, I can at the same time, it's almost like I can split myself in half. This part can feel the pain. This part can feel whatever I'm dealing with. But this part could be like, where do I do the same thing? Where have I done the same thing in any relationship? And I don't distinguish business from personal. Oh, well, I treated this person better because it was business, or I treated this person better because it was personal. It's very strange to me. Like, we're human, we're people. If you're doing your own thing, if you're working for somebody else, your blood, sweat, and tears, it doesn't matter. You put your heart and soul into things, at least your time. So we should all be respected, and we should all be responsible, and we should all hold ourselves accountable. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this framework that we used to use in business and corporate American called RASCI. R like Robert, A like Apple, S like Suhailah, C like Cash, I like me, right? RASCI. The R is for responsible, the A is for accountable, the S is for supportive, the C is for consulted, and the I is for inform. And the purpose of this framework is so you know what your role is in any system, and also so people are not doing the same thing, right? So it is a business framework, and is a tool. It's standard for like account management. We used to use it in advertising. I think either an HR person or my client, I can't remember if it was the HR person who introduced this to us, or human resource, or if it was Diageo. But it's a frame, or I think it might have been both, but it's a framework, right? And it's used for project management. It clarifies roles. It tells you who's responsible within a team. And it sort of creates this matrix, right? A matrix within a project that assigns the task to each member for every task, right? So it helps you gain clarity on who does the work, who approves, who helps, who provides input, and who needs to be kept in the loop. Because especially on all levels, whether you're an executive, like I was at the time, a vice president, you don't need everything in your inbox. Or when it is in your inbox, it needs to be clear that this is for you to just approve. This is for you to we're just consulting you. This is just an FYI. I don't need to be looking through every email and thinking that it's for me to respond to, right? So, and I feel like though in our own lives, we are all of these things. We are all of these things. We are responsible. We are the person, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to be the support system. We have to consult ourselves, our inner selves. We have to inform ourselves. And then we have to set everybody else straight with our intentions. Like, this is the intentions for this project that is me, my life, how I want to be treated, my work, how it's going to go. The other thing I find is that a lot of people I work with, that I know, I should say, they will 100% take the time when everything's going good. Oh, it's all on me. I have to do everything myself. Yeah, it's just me. I'm the one who got this off the ground. I'm the one who did this. I don't have any help. I have to do this. I have to be this to this person. This in my relationship. This in my business. But the moment something goes wrong, it's just, because I don't, it's that person. That person didn't do this. They're always blaming somebody else. And I'm not saying that might not be true. In the model that I gave you, that might have been the person who was accountable. So maybe you were expecting them to do something, but you're the responsible person. Or vice versa. It might have been the responsible person, right? So that might have been the person who, in your framework of your business, of your household, the responsible person was the one who was supposed to do the work, right? Take out the garbage. I don't know. Ship this package. Make sure this was in store. When we did our marketing plan, you had to make sure that this was in store. Make sure that when I say, hey, everybody, this product is available on October 1st, somebody better make sure it's in the store, right? Because we're doing the marketing and advertising, so somebody else needs to make sure that it's there, right? I'm pointing to it. So that's the responsible person. But at the end of the day, we are the accountable people. We are the single people who own the work. We own our own lives. We own our businesses. And we are ultimately the person who has to answer for its completion, right? We are the people who have to sign off and approve everything that is happening in our lives. But all of these roles we hold, and we have to stop projecting, deflecting. I see so many people, they really, really believe that they're holding themselves accountable. They'll be like, oh, but they say everything, but I'm sorry. It's crazy. It's bizarre. Or even when they do say I'm sorry, it's framed in such, I don't even know how to even give an example. It's framed in such a strange way. Like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't see your email, or I'm sorry I didn't see your text. Or that's not the thing you should be sorry for, right? You should first, so I have tenants in New York. I have an apartment in New York. And the last couple, whenever they've moved in, they usually have a year lease, there's been a problem. So I have in the lease that the person who leaves the apartment, they have to leave it move-in ready. So if you're the tenant that's about to move out, when you move out, it's your job to get a professional grade cleaner to clean that apartment like it's brand new, like a hotel, right? So that's their job. It's in the lease. That is something they have to do when they leave. I also have someone who helps me manage my apartment. She's an agent and a friend. And so there's a couple of people that help me, but it's the tenant's responsibility to leave the apartment clean when they leave. Move in ready, like brand new, spick and span clean, right? So the past couple times when the next tenant has moved in, after the last tenant has assured me that they have done their job, And after even my agent has gone in and say, hey, it looks clean. Great. Next person can move in. When that new person has moved in, this has happened twice now. They're like, I found this, I found that. They're sending me pictures, dust under the bed, dirty this, dirty that, sticky things in the refrigerator, things that other people have missed. Clearly, I trust my agent with my whole heart. She's my friend. She goes in, she takes pictures, she tells me everything's good. I also usually have really good tenants. They're not late on their rents. I don't have any complaints for the most part. Give or take a couple where there's been a little complaints. So for the most part, I trust these people for the most part, right? The tenants moving out, I usually would have had them for a year already. So I know who they are to some extent, even if I've never actually met them. I know their patterns. And then, so again, I have a team of people who are telling me, A-okay, thumbs up, apartment looks good. New tenant moves in. Horrible. I'll get an email. I'll get all these pictures. The last thing I do is say, oh, it's the last tenant's fault or it's my agent's fault. The first thing I do is say, I am so sorry. I have emails where I have said this. I take full responsibility for this. Period. End of story. That is the first. What do we have to do to rectify it? Then I say, I'm going to waive your move out fees, right? So when you move out, since you just moved in and there's an apartment that was not to your standard, not even to mine, this is embarrassing, I will say. And I will say, since that person didn't do what they said, the tenant before, then when you move out, I'm going to wait. I'll cover your fees. I know it says this in your lease that you have to have the apartment move out ready. But because you just dealt with this, I'm going to waive that fee. You don't have to do that. Plus, tell me what this is going to cost right now. I can give you money right now, or you can have it cleaned, and then I'll send you the money, or I'll deduct it from your first month's rent. 100%, I hold myself accountable, and then I also, to the extent that I can, am responsible. I'm doing something about it. Later, if once things calm down, if they want to get into it, or we're now a little bit more friendly, I'll explain. I'll say just as in your lease, the person who moves out, they usually could see this, right? The person who else is responsible for, so they can make their own conclusion as to what happened. They have the same lease as the one before, so they see that it's the person's, and they also have an addendum, so they see that the person in the lease is supposed to clean the apartment. So they know that happened with the person before. I don't need to explain that it was this person's fault, that person's fault, the cleaning person's fault. 100% hold myself accountable, 100% do something about it and hold myself responsible. And I think we have to just start doing that more in life. First of all, we have to start being the people that we say we want other people to be. If you have a business and you want people to support yours, I'm not saying that every business is for you. So I have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs or have their own thing. All of it, some of the things don't apply to me. I'm not going to be just buying things just to buy them if it doesn't even, like if I'm a woman and I have a friend who has shaving stuff, I don't have a beard, so I'm not shaving anything, but maybe I'll buy that for my partner when Christmas comes or as a birthday gift or for a friend. My point is we have to start being, whatever it is that you say you don't like about somebody else is my point. We got to see if we're being that first to ourselves. Are we even showing up like that for ourselves? It's like people are like, oh, this person's not on time. This person was not, I don't know, you're not even responsive to your own self. You can't even get yourself in the gym. You can't even get yourself to places on time. You can't even do whatever you committed to, your New Year's resolutions, your birthday goals, whatever it is. So first of all, we got to be like that to ourselves. Are we holding ourselves accountable with ourselves? And are we being responsible with ourselves? But then whatever our biggest gripe is with somebody else, it's usually the thing that we're missing ourselves. And that might be the case here with what I'm saying. Maybe this is stuff that I need to look at within myself. Again, I'm constantly doing this stuff. But since this is a gripe with me right now, I'm going to look at this whole framework again. But I do think that we just have to start showing up better. Stop complaining. We're not victims. See how you are being the same way. If you are not being the same way and you don't want to do business with these people, or if you don't want to be in a relationship with these people, then get out of it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Be responsible. Be accountable. Be the informed person. And I'm going to read what each of these roles means so that it's crystal clear what I'm saying here. So RASCI, again, it is responsible, accountable, supportive, consulted, informed, right? And the R is for responsible. It's the team members who do, quote unquote, the work to complete the task or objective. A, accountability. The single person who owns, quote unquote, emphasis on the owns, the work, and is ultimately answerable for all its completion. They provide the final sign-off or approval. Supportive. The individuals who assist those who are responsible by performing secondary or complementary tasks. Consulted. Subject matter experts or stakeholders whose input, advice, or feedback is needed and sought out for the task. Informed, who needs to be kept up to date on progress or decisions related to the task or project, but who do not actively participate in the work or the decisions. So if I'm working on a project, I'm the accountable person. I'm usually also the responsible person. It's my own business. Then I say, if I have a team, I'll assign this person's name, Christina, S. You're the S. You're an S person. So you're the individual who assists those who are responsible for performing secondary or complementary tasks. So if I have a team, I can't do everything myself. So even though I am responsible or I'm accountable ultimately for, I don't know, in my line of work, I don't know, an advertising campaign, I'm not running around and putting up billboards in Sunset physically myself or in Times Square. So the supportive person and the responsible person, those two people are the people that will probably engage with the media agency, who will help plan the photo shoot for what's going to be on the billboard, who will, so you know what I'm saying? So obviously we always need supportive people and people who are responsible, who are actually the doers, who are doing the thing, right? And then you might have a consultant person. So maybe there's someone you have to call first. I don't know. Maybe it could be, I don't even know. In this case, just someone, a producer who is going to produce the photo shoot or produce the commercial, a commercial that's going to play at the Super Bowl or play during your favorite TV show or your favorite streaming show on Hulu or Netflix, if you have the version where they still play ads. But so that person you might want to consult, because maybe before you can plan your photo shoot, you need to know, how much is this going to cost me? A producer will be like, here's you know what I mean? You have to consult them hey, this is what we're trying to do. Or it might be, I don't know, a location scout. Hey, we're thinking about doing this photo shoot. It's going to live on a billboard. We're thinking about doing this commercial. It's going to play on these networks and these streaming platforms. This is what we're thinking about. What do you think it's going to cost me? Or where do you think we should shoot? Maybe that's a person you're consulting. Later, they might become a doer. They might be the people you actually hire to help you with this. So they'll be in the responsible lane then. But right now, you might just need to consult them before you can even plan, is this feasible, right? And then people who just need to be informed. That might just be your boss. That might be, I don't know, the accountant department. This is what we're up to. I'm just informing you. Those are the people who just need to be kept up to date on the progress or the decisions related to the task or the project, right? That's probably your boss, probably the person who owns it, probably the business owner, whoever you report into, whoever the person who is accountable, who ultimately owns the project, who needs to be kept up to speed. Those are the roles in RASCI, and I think we can apply that to our actual lives, right? A lot of times, there is nobody else. If we are a solopreneur or a small business or just managing our own lives, we are all of these roles. There is nobody else that you're assigning anything else to, right? You are doing all of these things. And in that case, again, the responsible person, you are the doer. You are the one who gets down to the business and completes the task. You are the engine driver. You are propelling everything forward. Your life, your business, your project. You're the accountable person. You're the ultimate owner, the one who takes the heat for the success or the failure of the task. Now, this is the problem that when I say accountability, this is where I think a lot of people fail. They will take the heat for the success, But when there's something goes wrong, they are suddenly, oh, I couldn't because this person, all of those things could be true. This person didn't do their part. This person didn't do that. I told them to do this. I told them to get that. I told them to call this person. They were supposed to copy this person on the email. Running all around the world with excuses. All of that can be true. But who the heck cares? You are accountable. That means you are the one who takes the heat for the success or the failure of the task. You are the captain of the ship, of your ship. You are navigating the course, and you are ensuring that everything runs smoothly. That is the definition of the A in the RASCI definition of roles in this framework that is usually used in business. I loved it. I always have this in mind. Even if I don't actually use the chart, I loved it. I like structure. And when there's a lot of moving pieces, especially in top-heavy organizations where it's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, a lot of people with a lot of big titles, and nobody wants to get their hands dirty. And we have to sometimes be the accountable people and the responsible people. We are the one owning it and doing it, or getting our hands dirty with everybody else to do it. But the accountability part is what I think most people have a problem with fully owning. They are so good with saying all the reasons why they are so great and why the success of this is great. But they have a hard time when things fail, especially when there are other people on the team, or always when there are other people on the team, or even when they're not. They will look to anybody, the UPS, FedEx, doesn't freaking matter. They'll blame the whole world before they take responsibility for the failure of the task or project. And I'm asking ourselves to please, we have to be, we look around this world, we see everything that's going on. We do not like what we see. Most people do not like what they see. They have not learned to create the world that they want to live in their own individual world, the one for their family, for their business. And they are just repeating in small ways the micro of the macro. They are the micro of the macro, and they cannot even see it in their own selves, in their own businesses. I am asking us, please, we have got to be more responsible human beings. We have got to be more responsible with ourselves, more responsible with the others, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. No matter what, we have to we're all in this together, right? We have to hold ourselves accountable. If we keep pointing the finger at everybody else, two things can be true. Yes, that happened. Yes, that person did that. Yes, they did that. They're the responsible person. But where am I being like that too? How can I do different things differently? And if there are no ways that I'm being like that, okay, then how can I create a new paradigm? How can I shift the paradigm so that I'm creating a new thing, a new business, a new framework, a new way to do business, a new way to do relationships, a new way to do parenting, a new way to do whatever? How can I saw that I'm not like that anymore. I don't do any of those things. Great. Thumbs up. Okay, then let's move into the new. Let's move into the building the new. Then what does the new framework look like? What does the new business look like? What does the new business model look like? What does the new relationship model looks like? So I don't ever have to be that person, do that thing that way. But mostly I don't ever have to treat people that way, the same way that I don't like to be treated. So that's what I'm asking everyone to do. This one is a little bit of a thorn in my side right now because I see it so much and it's exhausting. It's exhausting, the conversations I have to have. And at this point, I just am silent and I just listen because I know that people will come to their own conclusions and they'll have their own growth. But it's just like, I'm just mostly silent a lot. But there are a few people like my friend I said earlier, we have a relationship where I can call him on it and be like, okay, I see you, I can support you. And yes, all of that's true. But can I just point this out for you? And he can receive it. And it's a wonderful relationship to have. And he's the same one with me. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful day.